If you really want to drive AI transformation, it has to start at the top. GPT-4 came out. This was our wake-up call. So we called the code red and say, hey, everybody wake up. We need to be paying attention to this stuff.
AI fluency isn't about knowing tricky technology. It's about knowing your own work well enough to redesign it.
My biggest pet peeve with some of the AI mandates that we see is that it's too loose, and that won't work.
We thought this would be a good experiment. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback from sharing a bunch of our lessons learned around how we're figuring out AI at Zapier. So we figured we'd try our hand at open sourcing our playbook or building in public or whatever the like trendy term is for, sharing some of the how the sausage gets made. So that's what we're doing here. Why are we doing this? Well, a big one, we have a value of default to transparency. So we're trying to do this. And we also think open sourcing this playbook helps everybody learn. So back in 2023, when GPT-4 came out, this was kind of our like very first wake up call. And it was the type of thing that I recognized was not going to happen simply organically. So we called the code red and say, hey, everybody wake up. We need to be paying attention to this stuff.
AI transformation is really all about how we can do that meaningfully and measurably better through a new technology. This is the framework that we use for that. AI adoption is raising the floor. And you can see some pretty practical, measurable productivity gains and employee experience gains from. It's not the whole opportunity, though. And that's what raising the ceiling is all about with AI transformation. That's about almost like more of a clean slate approach to how we sell, how we recruit. And the types of improvements that we would expect over time are less in the 10% improvement range and more in the 10x range. Wade's right. We don't have examples of 10x improvements today. We do have an interesting example on the way there that you'll hear from our customer support leader later, but so much more to learn and build.
We ran a hackathon. This was probably the most important thing. And in talking to hundreds of different customers, at this point in time, it is probably the most valuable thing you can do to jumpstart adoption inside your company. You get people's hands on keyboards, you get them building with the technology, you're using an LLM, using tools like Zapier, using tools like Cursor or Claude Code or what have you, to just get people familiar with what is possible. As part of the hackathons, you can do show and tell. Show and tell is really valuable because people can start to learn from each other. And they learn from each other in the context of your own company, which is really valuable. Because what you see on Twitter, what you see on LinkedIn, it's hard to understand what of that is just an impressive demo and what is actually practical change that is happening inside of companies. And so that show and tell inside your company context really helps you do well.
We use this to assess 100% of candidates for jobs at Zapier. We also use it as a form of self-assessment. 2025 for me was the year where I started bridging from kind of capable to genuinely adaptive. The experience of doing my job today is better. It is a better job than it was a year ago. Here is Zapier's staffing model for AI transformation. It is a hub and spoke model. In the middle, you have an AI transformation center of excellence. We have a directly responsible individual. We call them DRIs for each of those 5 pillars. We also have what we call the spokes. So these are teams embedded within each core part of the organization. And we have 4 muscles. We're not calling them jobs because in some cases, one person could fulfill multiple of these capabilities. These are kind of the 4 core muscles or motions that we think every part of the organization needs to have embedded within itself to make just really thoughtful, concrete, and measurable progress with AI.
I am going to show you the most impactful AI agent I have. This is one that dozens of people have copied and used. You're probably thinking, wow, that is not even a little bit impressive. And you're totally right. But this is just how it looked when I started. It eventually became something more, despite never writing a single line of code. It not only saves my time, it also saves my reputation as someone who is known for follow-through. The person who's entrenched in the pain point is the person who is best equipped to AI automate it. And that is why in 2026, I'm mentoring other folks, including Zapier customers, to build our own AI solutions. And in 2026, my goal is to turn every member of Zapier's people team into an AI builder, and a whole heck of a lot of our customers too.
So when it comes to enabling your teams through AI transformation, how you approach it matters just as much as what you build or what you buy. So here's what's worked for us. So first of all, you should focus your efforts, pick one or two really clear problem spaces, make it mandatory. So whatever you build or buy, it isn't optional. It becomes part of how your team operates. Invest in enablement. This is the most important one, I would say. You need a plan, you need time, you need to give people structure to make sure they can be successful. My biggest pet peeve with some of the AI mandates that we see is that it's too loose. You can't just expect people to just play around with a tool and for there to be AI transformation. That won't work. People need structure, they need accountability. We launched an AI fluency program. So it's 25 hours of self-paced learning content with builder challenges at the end. And everybody in support is required to complete it. You can see this Figma file. Everything that's in blue is essentially a tool that the support team use. And when they're doing a typical troubleshooting ticket, it's likely they'll use maybe about 5 different sources. So a ton of context switching. So that's what led us to build our new Ticket Copilot tool.
Ticket Copilot connects directly to our support systems, documentation, internal knowledge bases, bug trackers, and even historical ticket solutions. I'll ask Ticket Copilot to help me troubleshoot. Take a look at the customer's Zap. It's identified a root cause. And what's even cooler is that from here, I can then even ask Ticket Copilot to generate a reply for me to send to this customer. So the result that you get here is faster troubleshooting, higher consistency, and more time for our agents to focus on the human side of support.
We're making 2 very large bets with AI next year. The first one we're calling the Zapier digital twin. This is all around basically tuning a fleet of agents and related workflows tuned on company and role specific data that really works as a right hand to every human in the organization. The second bet, we're calling AI powered value engineering. What does that mean? That's a combination of use of AI, but also talent development to make sure that every person in this company can have a conversation with a customer in very concrete ways that customer can use Zapier to help their business. It's a horizontal product. You can use it to solve so many problems in a business. But if you're a customer facing member of our team today, you got to hold a lot in your head to do that really quickly and get customers that next opportunity with speed. AI can help. We're starting to see some ways that can happen. We want to raise our ambitions for what that could look like. And then we want to take it wall to wall across Zapier.